Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus and this is Romesh Shivasto. Please do subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders and business heads. Today we are trying to dive deep the recent updates on EPS 95 higher pension. Actually, the higher pension has become the hard nut to crack, and we have seen many twists and turns in the last 15 months since the Supreme Court's order. Recently, the EPFO has further extended the deadline for the employers to submit the base details, and now the first deadline is 31st May 2024, which was earlier 31st December 2023. Let me welcome today's guest, Mr. Amarnath Verma. Mr. Verma is a former Executive Director, Human Resources at NTPC. So, welcome, Mr. Verma. And first, I would like to know from you that what are the current updates on EPS 95 higher pension?
Thank you, Mr. Srivastava, for having me here. As you rightly said in the initial observation, that almost 15 months have passed since the November 22 judgment was delivered by Honorable Supreme Court in this regard. But many things have happened in between. As we have already discussed over the last 5-6 episodes, a series of guidelines, circulars have been issued by EPFO from time to time to address various concerns, various issues, because the problem is really mammoth, and to deal with such a big issue, some time was very much expected. So what is the present situation, as you have asked? The last deadline which has been extended by EPFO is 31st of May, by which time all the employers are required to submit the final details to the EPFO so that the higher pension application could be examined and decided by EPFO.
Right, right. So recently I was going through the article on Economic Times, and according to this article, the EPFO is introducing new formula for the calculation of higher pension, and that formula is based on the pro rata basis. And if we calculate the higher pension on the pro rata basis, then it is going to be 30 to 40% less pension. What is your take on this?
EPFO is not has not issued any guideline. The basis on which the pension was being hitherto fixed by the EPFO is being maintained, and the same process will be followed for higher pension cases also. Meaning thereby, if somebody has retired after the last notification date, that is 1/9/2014, the period after 2014 has to be calculated on the basis of 60 months last salary drawn, average of 60 months last salary drawn. And the period prior to that has to be on the basis of 12 months average salary. And this has to be done in a manner so that the entire pension is divided into two parts, and then the net pension will be worked out. So there is no direct reduction in the pension amount, but this was being calculated even for the present the pensions which have been finalized by EPFO for the present ceiling limits has also been done on the same methodology as they are being worked out for the higher pension cases. If I have to explain you with my own personal example, see, I retired in 2020 November, and my 58 years was in November 2018. So when I retired, I was given a pension by EPFO a little above 3,000, which was calculated on the basis of the total period was divided into two parts. The first part was 16/11/1995 up till 31/8/2014, and 1/9/2014 till 30/11/2018, when I was of 58 years of age. So for these the 4-year period, the pension would be calculated on the basis of average 60 months salary drawn from the date of 30/11/2018, when I became 58 years of age. So only thing is that now the ceiling limits will be enhanced to the actual salaries rather than the ceiling limit of 50,000, which was being done hitherto.
So it means the calculation formula for the happens that will remain the same. There is no any authentic information
Yes,
from the EPFO
yes,
that
yes.
there would be any change or not.
Hmm.
Second, do we have any data that how many applications has been processed and how many applications the EPFO has received for the opting for the higher pension and how many people have started getting the higher pension? Do you have any data on this?
Close to 17 lakh applications have been filed for higher pension cases in the EPFO all over the country. But as things stand and as data has been revealed by the EPF authorities, as of now, close to 18,000 people have submitted the desired amount which was sought by the EPF authorities. And out of those 18,000 odd cases, uh, the final pension, enhanced pension, has been issued, sanctioned in the case of about 500 cases. So this is the data, and as you can see, this is a very small percentage of cases that have been settled, and there is a long way to go before we can come close to the settling all the pending cases.
500 cases means very few number of cases are settled till now. So according to
Yes.
you, what do you think? What may be the top reasons why there is much delay, and how do you see the intention of the APFO for this?
The entire issue has to be handled on topmost priority, because as you have yourself observed that 50 months have elapsed since the Supreme Court judgment was announced. So 50 months period is a long period, and many people uh, are waiting very anxiously for the enhanced pension. So what the EPFO authorities should be doing is to take up the entire case on a project mode, on a war footing. For that, dedicated teams, dedicated efforts are required to be made from the EPFO authorities. And what I have gathered, that they have created some critical teams at both the central level and also at the regional EPFO offices. But they have to be taken up on a war footing so that the cases are settled expeditiously. And for that, a lot of support is also required to be given by the concerned employers. Because in many cases, there are not only one employer, multiple employers are also there. So things are really complicated, and if they are to be settled on at an early date, there must be a concrete measure taken from employer side as well as from the EPFO side.
I think we tried to discuss that what are the recent updates here and what are the reasons of the delay. I would like to share your opinion that how we can expedite this process and what are your concluding remarks on this?
One good thing has happened, that the entire data has been digitized, and a series of digitization efforts have been taken by EPFO authorities, in the sense that even the joint application which was required to be submitted manually earlier is now platforms have been created for submission of online application, joint application on electronic platform. So these are some of the positive developments, and the only thing is that there are some issues which are pointed out repeatedly by employers, that some data which they are seeking for very long period back, say of the late 90s or early 2000, where some of the data like challans, etc., of those periods may not be available. So on the basis of certification by the concerned employers, the EPFO authorities are required to take a positive outlook and settle the cases, rather than delaying the process for 100% verification, etc., because that is something that can never happen, that all the things are submitted with requisite documents on foolproof basis. So certain documents which the employers are certifying should be accepted by EPF authorities, so that the cases are settled on mutual trust and on the basis of certification by the respective employers.
And what would be your advice for the employees for the recourse action? How they can recourse?
There are certain issues which the employees must take uh, into factor, because uh, the additional amounts that are required to be submitted by or deposited by the employees to the EPO authorities is going to be very substantial. As I have told also earlier, the amount is going to be very substantial, and there is no return of capital. In this case, there is no return of capital. So any employee who's opting for the higher pension must take a very considered decision in the sense that how long he's going to remain there. Because if suppose somebody is submitting 50 lakh of rupees and he's getting higher pension, but tomorrow something happens to him. So unfortunately something happens to him. So the amount of pension will be reduced to 50% to his spouse, and then the capital is not going to be returned. So all these factors are required to be taken, considered, and applied while taking the higher pension. And yes, the higher pensions will give a relief in the sense that uh, in the later part of life, any substantial amount of pension helps in day-to-day meeting the day-to-day needs. So both the factors are required to be examined very positively and very systematically by the employee concerned before really seeking higher pension.
Right. So we have also created 4 more videos, and these videos started when the higher pension was announced by the EPFO. We have discussed everything about the process, about the joint declaration form. We will put all the links in our description box. If you want to go through all the details, you can just click on the video and you can get the details on this. Thank you so much, Mr. Verma, for joining the conversation and sharing your wonderful thoughts on the recent updates on higher pension. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Srivastav.